is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rivalry, NFC West Talk, weekly on Thursdays. I mumbled, right? I said that wrong. With Ryan from No More Sports and me, Joe Stevens. How's it going, dude?
It's going crazy times. Football is back, baby. Finally. Oh shit, something to talk about.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that exciting? So,
Oh,
um, I was on with Bryant last night, and I heard that. So we both kind of have holdouts going on in kind of different
mhm.
situations. Ours is a rookie, which is very rare. I think it's like the last rookie, the last one I remember ever holding out like this is Joey Bosa. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
So it kind of seems like that. I think it's a terrible look. I mean, because the money is guaranteed anyways. It's just the question is when is he going to get that guaranteed money? So that's kind of it's a bad look all around. So I
So
don't know if
uh,
you knew a lot about it or not.
about the Joe Nick Bosa or yours?
No, so ours, Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah. It, and if I'm correct, it's not the amount of money. It's,
Yeah,
I believe, the guaranteed.
not even guaranteed. It's when
What
he
is it?
gets the signing bonuses.
Oh,
So the money is going to be there no matter what. The money, it's just when he gets it is what they're arguing over.
oh,
So it's really frustrating that he's not there. And that's the same thing. That's why Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa was holding out like that. Like what, 3, 4 years ago, 5, 6.
because I think they can do something about the signing bonus, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's basically all
Not
they
the
can
not the
negotiate.
time frame, but yeah, exactly.
Uh, that's all you can negotiate is so what year are you going to get that guaranteed money, right?
Yeah.
So they're arguing over guaranteed money that's guaranteed, but is he going to get it this year, next year, across the 4 years, right? That's what the
See,
argument is.
Nick Bosa was a hold in as a
No,
rookie.
sorry, I was talking about
No, no,
Joey
no. I
Bosa.
know. I was
Oh,
saying that Nick Bosa was a hold in because he said, "Hey, I'm coming to camp, this and that, but I'm not going to sign this until it's what I want." The 49ers are like, "Yeah, sure, that's great because we like taking extra long to just come down to the what you wanted anyways." You know what I'm saying? I'm
wait, are
pretty
you
sure
talking
that's
his rookie deal? He did that.
yeah, his rookie deal. Yes.
God, I don't get it. I I don't get it. Why can't they
Um,
get?
Well, with Nick and Joey, I believe they both wanted their money as soon as possible and as much upfront as possible because they just never knew. I'm pretty sure they just wanted to turn around and invest their shit and then, you know, get it coming in as residual. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't.
I, the Nick Bosa right now kind of hold out because he's not there at camp.
Mhm.
Well, he's not out participating at least. Who
I
knows?
heard
Maybe
he's in Florida right now.
he could be. I'm not worried about him being in shape. I'm sure that man's going to be in shape. As far as knowing what's going on in the defense, I'm sure he could switch anytime to being a coach and let everybody else know on the line what and how to do things. So with that, I'm not tripping on that one. But that sucks to hear about Witherspoon there.
Hmm. Yeah, so there's 260 draft picks in the NFL. He's going to be number 260 to sign a contract because there's 259 guys that signed their rookie contracts already,
Yeah.
and that's a bad look for him. I mean,
I I don't know if it is or not. Because think about this. Nick Bosa did the same thing, and Joey Bosa did the same thing, and they were worth every penny that they paid.
that's how I'm kind of looking at with the glass half full mentality right now because the only one I can remember doing this was Joey Bosa, and
Like
he worked out. So,
you picked this guy this high, right?
hmm
It's not like anything's gonna break the freaking bank.
No, because the contract's there. I mean, it's basically set in stone. It's just
Yeah.
when that guaranteed money gets given to him.
Yeah. You could have just made it happen already.
And then, yeah, I don't know. He's missing some. We're pretty stacked at cornerback right now, so
That doesn't mean anything. That
it,
if he's on your team, this is crucial time to have him in and around. It's much easier to kind of work out kinks with him with everybody else. You know what I
that's what I'm
mean?
saying. So we're
Yeah.
pretty stacked at cornerback right now. So the only thing I get worried about is him being the 5th overall pick, getting lost in the shuffle, right,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and being behind everybody. So
Yes.
that's what I'm really worried about because Mike Jackson still looks awesome. Kobe Bryant's looking good.
Right.
Trey Brown's looking good. From what I hear, I haven't been there yet. I'll be there on the 4th of August and the 13th. But
Plus, confidence is king. And
yeah,
if you're going into training camp a week or 2 weeks late, while everybody else is made leaps and bounds in progress so far, because it's not like you just step on the field and it's like, oh yeah, I've got everything. You got to
yeah,
work
exactly.
off the rust a little bit. It's kind of why they have no pads for the first couple of days. It's to kind of, so you're not running around full bore doing all this stuff when you're not acclimated to be doing it
Hmm.
at 100%, game type, practice type speed. So I think it's it's not the best situation because like if he's going into camp seeing everybody flying and he's got the rust and he's not doing things as good as everybody else, he's going to get down on himself, which is going to make him not perform not as well as he could be, because once you got the ghost,
And
the
he's a rookie. He's a rookie. I
exactly.
mean, it doesn't matter if you're 5th overall or 105th overall. You're still a rookie.
I
To those guys.
remember, I think it was Kittle, he was saying, first 3 years in the league, like I did not have the system down, so I was kind of like most part worried about what I was supposed to do. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Instead of worrying about just taking care of the guy I was supposed to block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once he figured out what he was doing, it was just I got to go over here, and now I just need to worry about how he's moving and figuring how to set myself up in the right position to block this guy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's what made it him jump to a become a monster. You know what I mean? Is because the system clicked, the plays clicked. He knew what the hell was going on at that point, and he could just relax and do what he was there to do. You know what I mean? Which is block somebody or
Yes.
run the play. You know what I mean? Whatever it was, he was there to do it then.
Yeah, I think all is going to be well. This will probably Pete Carroll is a really good liar, just like most good head coaches are. He is. I mean, I don't know about Shanahan, but most good head coaches I know say they don't like to show their cards, right? And Pete said, "Oh, I expect him to be here in the next couple days. Don't worry." But we've heard that before with Cam Chancellor's holdout and Bobby Wagner's hold in and Earl Thomas's holdout. So
What do you consider a good liar? Because like let's say Kyle Shanahan talks about injuries, right?
mhm.
He says, "Oh, he's week to week." We're like, "Bullshit! Shut the fuck up." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you said it, and like, if I didn't know you, I would take that on face value
Mhm.
because it sounds great. But with the track history of you saying stuff like that, it really doesn't compute. So to me, good liar. I don't know when you hear the bullshit, when you hear the bullshit line, what is that? Rich Eisen, like the coach speak. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the three things. I can't remember what it is. Mike McDaniel hit all three of them in the same comment, like a pro.
Yeah, it's that's a Pete just doesn't show his cards, and I think that's good for a head coach to do. I always think it is. He's not. He's one of those guys like he's not very. He's not buddy buddy with the media, if that makes sense. And shout out to Brian Culp. Uh, he does not still have the blue and green hair. I am sure it is blonde at this point or some other extravagant color. So changes week by week.
Shout out to Bryant Culp. I don't know if they're still going, but Jess has Jesse Sapolo on, and that man has 4 Super Bowl rings.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I don't know why anybody would be here watching us if he's over there. You know what I'm saying?
Did you? Who was that?
I was watching it before I got here. I was tuned in, and
was that our show last week, or maybe it was a Friday night show where Jess was in the comments talking about, oh, they have so and so, and I go, who did I say that she was having on? It was somebody.
Where did you say Jesse Sapolo?
No, it was somebody ridiculous. Like, it was like I couldn't tell you who it was, but it was like almost a Hall of Fame caliber player.
Well, Jesse Sapolo's Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame?
4 Super Bowl rings.
I've never heard of him, dude.
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. He's got to be. If not, it's a travesty. You have an offensive lineman who is.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Hold on.
Not a Hoffer.
Oh no, he is not.
Yeah.
Oh.
He is a big deal though. Holy shit, I didn't realize it.
Yeah. No. He's working with, like I just heard it tonight, he's working with Talanoa Hufanga also. Okay. He was like, for reasons I'm sure you know. And it's because he's Polynesian. You know what I mean? Like, you Polynesian, you make it to the league, you get a part of the club, you get all the resources, you know what I mean? Which, hey, good on them. I personally, I don't know if there's a single Polynesian player who's actually made it in the NFL that I wouldn't love to have on my team at any point in time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're a different breed of player. You know what I mean? They're just give you 100% all the time. They're great people. They're just usually just a darling person. You know what I mean?
Not always, but usually.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, look at Hufanga. Hufanga's just a sweetheart of a dude. Troy Polamalu barely even talks crap unless you piss him off so much, and then and then you unleash.
And then Jesus helps him. Yeah,
little baby Jesus. Yeah, but Jesse Sapolo talking in there. He was saying that the Seahawks fans were telling him he was a loser, and he was just smiling at him and saying, just thinking that, man, I won 4 Super Bowls, bro. You don't call me a loser. Like, this team might have lost this game, but don't call me no loser, bro. Which is so true. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a part of the team plan. You can't call Jesse Sapolo a loser. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to training camp, if that's cool with you.
Yes.
Anything exciting come out of 49ers training camp? Anything good, bad, indifferent?
Well, first I want to shout out to Bryant Culp. First thing that I think is really important, Mitch Wisnowski came off the pup / whatever list.
He did?
Yeah, he hurt himself
punting.
No, he hurt himself weightlifting off site. So he wasn't a pup. It was the
non-football injury list.
Yeah, the other one that's a pup, but it's not. Yeah, anyway. So he was on that list, and he just got taken off of it today, which totally makes. Not only do we got look, I think our rookie kicker is going to be perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Moody. I think we're going to be perfectly fine with Jake Moody. But who knows? You know what I mean? And the other thing I don't want is having a who knows at kicker and a guy who's here for just a couple weeks at punter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would rather have an or we don't know what we got as kicker than a punter. For the reason being is if our team is in a slugging match and really hard up, field goals aren't necessarily going to win us the game anyways, but being able to get out of a bad spot and not give them good field position, I think is better. I don't know.
Yeah, it just depends on what kind of game you're in.
And the scenarios that you get in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But field position is a huge, the Seahawks and the 49ers really, if you have a good defense and you can run that football, field position is your best friend. So
if you could run the ball, play good defense, and have a good punter that could pin somebody,
exactly.
or at least stop them to gaining. I mean,
yeah, exactly. At least don't
deadly.
kick it backwards.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Like if you stop the return, if you could at least, kick it 30, 40 yards, depending on where it is, and give it hang time and stop the return, that's perfectly fine with me. And if you can consistently do that, bro, and if you can add the crazy kicks in there too, every once in a while to make, a nervous dude even more nervous, like that's what I want. Get the ball on the ground, baby. So
yeah,
that was a big relief.
Yeah, for sure. We got a few guys on the PUP list right now, so the physically unable to perform. God, who was on it? Noah Fant, he should be back any day. Tariq Woolen, they're saying, yeah, he had ankle surgery. I don't know if you remember that during OTAs. He had to go out because he had to get some little. It was either a knee or ankle, just a really minor thing. They said he's running with the team.
Was it like a scope or was it like a cleanup? Was it
cleanup?
What was it? Okay.
So they said he's running with the team. He's cutting just fine. They just don't want to turn him loose fully, if that makes sense.
I wouldn't worry about it. He's in his second year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want him on the field during the season. This is a no-brainer.
I'm not worried about it, but he'll be out there soon, right? And then obviously Jamal Adams and Jordan Brooks. But once again, Pete's a really good liar, but he said Jamal Adams is on track to return for the beginning of the season. Because if you're on that PUP list to start the season, you have to miss 6 weeks. Any time before that, you can be taken off it. But once you enter that PUP list in the middle of the season, you have to spend 6 weeks on the sideline. So,
yeah, we also had Brock Purdy went 2 for 10 today with the ones.
Good D.
Well, yes, but I think his first throw was an interception.
Did he look like shit? Did you get to see any of it or
no? But from the accounts, it seemed like his throw wasn't on, and which makes total sense. He's not there. You know what I mean? Like he can clear to practice, but his arm isn't up to strength yet. You know what I mean? He's still having to go through the thing. So one thing Grant Cohn brought up that I thought was actually a very good point. He was saying that the way the 49ers are structuring this quarterback competition isn't giving anybody confidence. So Brock Purdy comes out and immediately he's with the ones going against the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Why not start him with the threes? Not to say that he can't play with the ones, but why not let him get in his groove with the threes and then bump him up to the twos?
Here's where I differ. What I do is if they want a true quarterback competition, have all three of those guys just rotate between 1, 2, and 3. Because that's what the Seahawks did with Drew Lock in the 1s and 2s last year and Geno Smith. So and the right guy came on top.
what they're doing is they're pulling people out here and there and then putting them in. Well, like they're gonna like Brock's gonna get, I guess, the most of the or all of the first string reps, and then he's got a rest day, and they'll split up the other reps in between Trey and Sam. And I'm just thinking, like, I like that idea of them rotating them between the 3 squads. That's perfect. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
I want them all to be able to get with a group, get in sync, and be able to push and test things instead of, I just got thrown in with these guys. Now I gotta, figure out where I got, 5 snaps with these guys, and then I'm gonna go off and wait for another 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna get 5 snaps with them again or something. Like, I don't want that. I just want them to be in succession, plays in successions,
and constantly moving. Right, that's what you want, constantly. Because that's all that's going to make you better is rep. I mean, let's be honest, we're not NFL head coaches, nor are we GMs, nor are we players. But from what you hear from the coaches, players, and GMs is it doesn't matter if you're with the 1s, 2s, or 3s. The max amount of reps you get, the max you're getting better, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the same playbook. You run the same plays. Sure, if you're a quarterback, you might not have the same chemistry with the number 3 wide receivers compared to the number 1s because there's a speed difference, but at least you're getting
but even then at some point in the season you might need to have to throw a ball to them in game. And so to have any sort of, especially like the wide receivers and a quarterback, that's a very special connection. You know what I mean? Not as special as the quarterback and center, but you know what I'm talking about. Like it's vital for them to kind of know each other. So you say rotate it, but that sounds like a great idea.
Especially too, this just popped up in my head. There's going to be a guy in that number 3 is at least with the Seahawks. It usually happens every year. That's going to make the roster. That's going to make the 53-man roster to start the season. One of the receivers. So, I mean, maybe it works out. Maybe Purdy or Lance or Darnold get some extra time with that guy, whoever it may be.
So I was listening to Deebo Samuel talk in the presser yesterday, and he was talking about Brandon Ayuk and his first couple of seasons and saying he didn't understand how specific the routes were in this system. They are very, very, like, you are running a tight path. It's not like go out, figure out how to get open, and then do it. You're counting your steps essentially, and then you're making your break and you're counting your steps again, and the ball could be right there. That's essentially how they do this. It's this, and then you just throw the ball to the spot, and the receiver should be coming open at that point in time. So it's kind of how those throws over the middles go. So he was saying that Brandon Ayuk, needed that type of understanding. So if you've got, who is it, Allen? I can't remember his first name. I think it's Jared Allen. We got Jared Allen, I believe, as quarterback, right? Working with the 3s and whatnot. So if he is the one throwing the balls to the receivers and he's not a quarterback who's been in the system and knows exactly where to throw that ball, is he really training those wide receivers well to get on that route that they need to be so specifically to put themselves in a good position to make a play on the ball? So rotating the quarterbacks is a great idea because you're going to have Brock Purdy and Trey Lance throwing the ball to where it needs to be. You know what I mean? And it will get them, I got to be over here. You know what I mean? So it gets them used to everything instead of, these third stringers working with the third string quarterback who hasn't been in the system for multiple years. And, it's just throwing the ball to an open guy who's ever open. They're playing backyard football essentially compared to the system that we run.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. So what they have, sorry, brain freeze or brain fart. They have, so they have Purdy with the 1s now, and then nobody, what's Lance and Darnold doing when Purdy's
They are
out?
sharing reps with the twos.
And then Purdy will go with the twos tomorrow, and then
No, and then Purdy should be with the ones again tomorrow, and then Purdy should have a rest day. So I believe camp goes again tomorrow. Maybe not. I think it goes.
Should be almost every day.
No,
almost.
So I think it goes tomorrow. They take Saturday, Sunday off, and they start again on Monday. Go 3 days on. I can't remember, but yeah, that's so every 3 days he'll have a rest day.
It just seems weird because you think they know what they're doing, right? But it just seems weird because all of a sudden, oh, this guy might be ready for the start of the season, right? And then, oh, all of a sudden he's here and he's thrown with the ones. It just doesn't. The timing seems weird.
This is the other thing that I worry about too. So it's not just Purdy needing to get better. The wide receivers, they need to have somebody who can throw the ball on spot right now, so they don't get into any bad habits, and they're nice and crisp and clean going into the season. You know what I mean? As far as their routes and everything goes. So I don't know if maybe Brock Purdy, training with them is necessarily the best thing for the whole team at this point. You know what I mean? Because
if he's throwing ducks.
Well, and I'm not even gonna get mad at him for any of this, because look, it's day one. There's so much. Let's talk about this in a couple weeks to the season. Okay, let's talk about, if it's still persistent a couple weeks to the season. I did hear that Brock Purdy had a worse day than when Jimmy threw 5 back-to-back interceptions.
5?
5.
Back to back to back to back.
Yes. But I think there's more context. I think that might have been Kyle trying to do the same play. And, linebackers are smart. Linebackers are really smart and good. So, you know what I mean? I don't think this is big hiccup. Other people are talking about it. You got Larry Krueger, who is acting like it's the second coming of Jesus, I hear. I don't know. I haven't heard him talk about it yet. But, yeah.
How about any injuries happen? Any key injuries happen today?
No, not yet.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Me too. I was just sitting there after I saw what happened. Well, Burrow was fine, thank God. But
pads aren't on yet, and we approach practice like we do the games. So I expect to start hearing people getting hurt first, second, third day of pads.
Yeah, well, as long as it's not like ACLs and shit, because that's what you saw. Jalen Ramsey had his ACL deal today, I think. He tore his ACL today or something.
Jalen Ramsey tore his ACL today?
Or meniscus or something. They said he's out at least till December.
Oh my God, poor guy. I don't like him personally, but I didn't hear that.
And then and then Burrow got carted off today, but he ended up being fine. It was
good.
Another they described it as a non-contact injury. Burrow's being carted off. And people were like, oh, fuck.
The only person who could get injured and I wouldn't feel bad for is that Incognito, that offensive lineman who's a piece of shit. That guy, I'll be like,
I think he's out of the league. I think he's out of the league now.
I would golf clap the shit out of his ACL.
There's others. Aaron Hernandez. I wouldn't feel bad. Somebody like that,
Oh. What up, Nathan Z?
Nathan Z in the house. What's happening? Bryant just won on East Coast Red and Gold. I don't know what that means, but...
Did you win the preseason tickets, Bryant?
Yeah, did you win the preseason tickets?
Shout out awesome to Bryant.
Yeah, big shout out.
I don't know if he won. It'd probably be Tony. Tony wins fucking everything.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I remember one time I was on Beto's channel, and I can't remember which. She won the duck race like twice, which ended up getting her a patch. And then then it was like the next day I'm watching Mariah and TL show, and boom, she wins. She wins like 3 things on that day. I was like, geez, she just wins.
I was in a duck race one time on Beto's channel, and I was like, man, this shit's pretty fun, kind of just.
Dude, it was fun until I got the plain duck. I got a boring duck one time, and I was like, what is this? Like, my life had no meaning. I don't care what my duck looks like. I just want a jazzy looking duck. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I want a jazzy looking duck. I want to know which duck's mine other than just wanting to just like vomit from boredom looking at it.
Yeah. Are they streaming their training camp at all? The Niners, like the Seahawks do?
No, I don't think so. They were a couple years ago
when COVID was a deal.
But they don't even like stream them doing. They just stream drills and such.
So that's what we do too. The Seahawks, they stream the drills.
Yeah.
And then they go to 7-on-7 or 11-on-11, and then they just totally cut. They totally pan to somebody walking on the sidelines or something.
Oh, it sounds like Jair Brown might be a real deal Holyfield. There's a lot of buzz around him that he might even start over Gibson Sr.
Was that the second round safety you got, or third round safety?
Third round. We moved up.
Like 87th overall or something?
Yeah, something like that. We moved up to get him. And oh, wow. From this buzz I'm hearing about him, this could be a crazy secondary to go up against. Maybe not as lockdown talented as your secondary is, but maybe more opportunistic and getting turnovers, because it seems like he knows where to be. Hufanga too. Hufanga just broke up Hufanga was supposed to be looked off and then turned around and made a play. Like, remember that Ed Reed play against Peyton Manning? Was it Peyton Manning or no, it was against it was against Peyton Manning, where Ed went the one way, and then without even looking, he just turned and went over to the other side of the field and intercepted Peyton Manning because he knew Peyton was looking him off. So he just spent a second.
I think I do remember that, and I don't know. It had to be Peyton Manning.
I'm not saying it's that play, but that's what I first thought of it.
Yeah.
When I heard, it sounded like he was pulling something like that, a little bait and switch. So it's going to be nasty tossing up a ball in our secondary. Plus, we also we got some guys. We filled what up, Seahawks Eddie?
Long time no see, Eddie.
Appreciate you stopping in, sir. Let us know what you think of training camp so far, your Seahawks training camp.
Yeah, I heard rookies on our side. I heard Jackson Smith and Jigba is really standing out, which he should be because he was the first receiver taken off the board in the NFL draft. But I heard he's just a natural, like, kind of at the position. I guess he doesn't have the speed and he doesn't have the height, but they say he's like the most, other than speed and height, which is also like, which is a big deal. But they say just every attribute, he just checks the box, if that makes sense.
I'm not the one for worried about if they check the height and weight requirements.
Me neither, just because the way I look at it is Devontae Adams, nobody's talking about the fact that he's 6'1", and Jackson Smith and Jigba is 6 foot. So it's like, okay.
It's not about the size of the dog. It's about the size of the fight in the dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I truly believe that. That's why when people talk about, look, the length of people's arms, like, yes, it could definitely give some people an advantage. Like, I got long arms. Like, that gives me an advantage in lots of different ways in lots of different situations.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But that doesn't mean it can't be negated by somebody with shorter arms who know how to use them more effectively than I do. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. I might
Exactly.
be able to punch you with in a distance where you can't touch me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you move out of the way and strike me before I can even get to that spot, what does it matter? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
You know, so to me, it's about what you could bring to the table. Look, there's people throughout this league. Look at basketball, where height can actually mean the most. You got Mosey Bugs, Bugs, yeah.
M- m- God,
What's his?
you got me on that. We'll just say Spud Webb. We'll just say Spud Webb. He was
There's
short too.
short guys in
Look
there.
at Spud Webb.
If you can figure out how to get your game going in basketball, being like 5'2", you know what I mean? Like you got game. It doesn't matter how tall you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you deserve to be on that court, it doesn't matter what your height is. And I just, Brock Purdy last year, I think really woke the league up again to where they have to go, yeah, we'll look at the requirements, the height and this and that, but we won't look at it too hard because we're going to miss gems. And
Well, I mean, look at Russell Wilson. I mean, as much as I hate the
yeah,
guy, you hate the guy. I mean, he's 5'10" and 5'8". He was the shortest quarterback. Without Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray is not going first
exactly.
overall.
I was about ready to make that point. Like, or maybe not first overall, maybe not a chance at all.
Not in the first round, at least. Somebody give him a chance in the 5th, 4th.
Yeah.
And then I know kind of shitty, but Johnny Manziel, he wouldn't have been a first rounder if it wasn't for Russell Wilson. Johnny Manziel was 6 foot. He shouldn't have been a first rounder to begin with. But what I'm saying is people are giving them their chances because people can see that you don't have to be 6'5" to play quarterback in the NFL.
No.
It'd be nice though. It sure would be nice.
No, it can give you an advantage, but it's not a necessity, and it doesn't mean that you have the advantage over somebody else.
Look at Paxton Lynch, right? He was what, 6'7"? He was huge. And then look at Russell Wilson, 5'11". I mean, I'm taking, like I said, as much as I hate Russ, I'm taking Russell Wilson 8 days out of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Like once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I mean? Like you can't just go, oh yeah, let's go back to our filter or same old filter. You can't. Mm-hmm. You have to give everybody their chance, essentially.
I mean, dude, look at Derrick Henry, running back that's like 6'2", 250. I don't know how much he weighs, probably 225 pounds, and he runs tall. Yeah. I mean, when the NFL was really run heavy, like 2000, we'll say like mid 2000s, I don't think Derrick Henry would have been a fullback somewhere, not getting very many touches, in my opinion, because the way he runs and how big he is.
Look at Mike Allstott. He came out of college as a halfback, running back, whatever. Yeah, and they were like, no, you're a fullback, which works.
Yeah, guy but he's still got a few carries for a fullback. I mean,
oh well, he was a very integral part of that team because he was going to punish you up the middle, and the moment you brought everybody in the middle to stop him from being able to get yards, they just handed the ball off in the backfield to work done, and he just went outside and around, and you were just so it was a perfect. It's kind of like how our play action, our outside zone and the play action works so well together. It's essentially the same kind of thing, but just in a run scheme with personnel.
Yeah, I heard. I kind of want to get to this before I forget. But Pete Carroll said something kind of funny in the press conference. They go, "I see you're working the screens into the offense. I mean, Eskridge and Jackson Smith and Jigba had a couple great screens." And he goes, "Well, he was pretty honest. He goes, just to be fair, the defense is just running. They're not hitting anybody. So don't take anything too far right now." He basically was like,
that's the other thing. We're not even in pads yet. So what was it? Drake Jackson got Christian McCaffrey tackle for loss for like 5 yards in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Well, without seeing it, I can't just be like, oh yeah, he got that. It could be, yes, I know. What did you win the training
Brian.
camp tickets? We asked
Yeah,
already.
OMG, I won. Hey
Yeah.
guys, I won.
Yeah, we got that part, bro. I'm guessing he won the tickets because he's
and
freaking
that's
out.
another thing too, though, is the defense is going to win sometimes. The defense,
and especially our defense.
Exactly. You hope that even if it's a full practice, they don't really do full tackles anymore in practice. But say Christian McCaffrey gets tackled for a 5-yard loss. Good. The defense won that.
Well, the offensive lineman probably didn't have a good enough chance to. Oh, well, I can't even assume. But
yeah, you didn't watch
it. when it comes down to it, offensive linemen don't have the defensive lineman's pads on to be able to grip to. Not hold, but grip. There's a complete difference. And
keep it inside.
Well, even if you're not holding them like that, or you can get your hands underneath the plates, and that becomes a grip and a hold. You know what I mean? So
a legal hold.
No, you can do that.
That's why I said legal.
Yeah. It's right in the square.
Yeah, exactly.
Right in the square.
He won the tickets.
Yep, he won the tickets. Congratulations.
He's jumping back and forth.
I would be too, sir. Especially if I lived in that area.
Jump up and down next time, Brian. A little weird to be jumping back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth.
What are you doing? Just kidding.
It's how white people dance.
Yeah. Back and forth, side to side. Oh, but
he's got the moves like Jagger.
Yeah. But yeah, it's awesome to kind of see a little bit of glimpse of what's going on. And then, when's the Hall of Fame game? Shit, that's got to be like a week away, if that.
I don't know, but I can't wait to see what happens with the Raiders 49ers game. Jimmy Garoppolo is now signed.
Is that in the preseason?
Yeah, it is preseason, baby.
For some reason, I thought the Raiders and 49ers weren't allowed to play preseason games. Do you remember that? They were like,
what's that? Sorry.
Do you remember? It was like 10 years ago. Some guy died, and then they didn't let the Niners and Raiders play preseason games anymore.
Oh, I believe that was, well, that's the Oakland Raiders. This is not the Las Vegas Raiders.
So that's when they changed it, when they moved to Vegas.
I feel a lot of the fans that would do such a thing can't leave the county due to ankle monitors. So okay. I think it's a much safer affair because Raiders fans are all criminals. You know what I mean?
Not all, but a lot.
No, all of them. They've done bids.
They've done.
Yeah. Especially Bryant Culp's father.
Like I said, the only game in the last 2 seasons I didn't go to was that damn Raiders game, and I'm happy I didn't go because Josh Jacobs rushed for about 300 yards on us and looked like Bo Jackson. We might as well have wore our throwback 1980 Seahawks jerseys and just put number 34 on Josh Jacobs. That's how bad it was. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Yeah, no, I think that it should be a good game. But what I've heard from a lot of different players is that they like the conjoined practices, and that Kyle Shanahan says that he gets more out of the conjoined practices than he does from the game itself.
We never did one. Because nobody's close to us. So.
Yeah, we're the closest people to you, really, and it would just be fights all the time.
Yeah, no, it's a divisional. There would be, and it's a divisional. You're not going to fucking conjoin, or you're not going to joint practice with your biggest rival in the NFL.
Well, it'd be like you or the Rams. It wouldn't be smart to have the teams together for a couple of days out in the heat. You know what I mean? Like, things go pop off, bro. You know what I mean? If you don't think it will, you're dumb. You're dumb.
I would like to see it. I'd like to see just DK in a joint practice with the 49ers. Because DK don't take no shit.
Remember,
You're cutting out bad, Ryan.
How do you take it to give them?
Hey, Ryan. I can't hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, could you reset? But yeah, it's a joint practice between the Seahawks and 49ers would be wild. I'd like to see DK basically without the 15-yard penalty, problem. Nathan Z says the Hall of Fame game is next Thursday. Yeah, I can't. I don't. If anybody remembers who's playing, let us know. Raiders and 49ers equals bloodbath.
Still not good.
I think it's your internet, man. We can always cut it, and then we got lots of shit to talk about next week anyway. So.
All right.
Yeah, you're so fuzzy. It's crazy. But yeah, I think we'll just all right, we'll see you guys next week. Okay, thank you everybody.